like people age 40 that do not know what necessarily they want to do. I was always panicking, trying to be like developing my weaknesses. I was going through a bit more of an identity struggle at this point. In terms now, like I'm much more confident about where I am than I was in my first year. Don't move it too close. Please.
Blur it.
Oh no,
Wait,
it's
are you
fine.
zooming out or zooming in?
Zooming in.
You can zoom out.
Fine, you're fine. You're looking good. You're looking good. You can see it. Like, I'll show you.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before that, my teachers tried to scam us.
It's still going to
No, now we're fine. So now I'm okay.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Doing okay? How's your day been?
It's been, and I haven't done anything really that much, but yeah, it's been fine. I'm alive. I'm breathing. So good.
That's always good news. Okay, so what are you doing now in life?
What am I doing in life? Right now, I am at uni. I'm doing international development. It's kind of like a course I think the course that is really for me, that at least out of all the ones that were like an option. I'm also like on the path of like making more friends or trying to be like developing my weaknesses, which is definitely in terms of networking, that kind of anything along those lines, like getting to know people, trying to study, trying to make sure like I take time out for myself, like make time for self-love, and yeah, developing my weeknesses.
Okay. So in international development, you said that that's the one that seemed more like you. How did you go about figuring out that, or is it just something that kind of you knew? How did you go about kind of saying, okay, this is where I'm at?
So my life experience kind of led me towards, so from year 7, me being, I grew up here at first. So I was born here in Birmingham, so the UK, then moved to Nigeria, and kind of because of the because of like the contrast, or like learning more about where I actually was from, and seeing like the kind of disparities between where the two countries, I guess that is like the foundation of where I was like, okay, so what is development? Why is one country like this? Why is one country like that? And so it's kind of been something in me that's like, okay, I really want to know about how different countries go about like developing or just becoming what they are. And yeah, I'm really like interested in languages. I just love traveling. I love different countries.
Have you been to Bahamas before? No. Oklahoma? No. Chicago?
I like the differences between like every country. So I think that was why I knew like it's just something in me that I'm very interested in. In terms of like knowing it was for me, it wasn't actually that simple. I was applying for international relations because I didn't actually know international development existed. Importance of researching. Then I looked it up. I saw that actually I saw international development at King's, and then I read it and saw that like, wow, this is actually so much more interesting than international relations. And that kind of how it became like the one that I was like, okay, yeah, if I had to choose something, then I definitely go for international development. Even at that, there was still kind of like conflict because it was at international relations at LSE. There was international development at King's, and LSE kind of was in the parents' eyes kind of like, oh, the university to go to. So it's like if I did get into LSE, you shouldn't like deny that kind of thing. But I didn't get in, thank God. So and that's how I kind of ended up in international development.
Okay. So you said thank God. So would we take that so far, how have you been enjoying the uni experience here?
Yeah, I think I'm very fortunate because I found that it's very rare to like be in a course and feel as if like, yeah, this is for me, like I definitely like love everything I'm doing, even if I don't like the class, like a specific class. I know that I love what this degree is all about. There's not many people that can say the same of whatever course they're doing. There's a lot of people that kind of are in it trying to think about doing something else, or think that, well, I'm doing it, but this is probably not what I'm going to end up doing. So yeah, I am really thankful. I know that I'm like fortunate to be in a course and be like, yeah, this is for me. I'm happy where I am.
Okay. So reflecting on where you are now and looking back, is there things that you wish you had known earlier?
Definitely. Definitely. I was always panicking. Like one reason or another, I was just always panicking about school. I think you have sort of like all this, you have homework, then you have deadlines, a sick form or whatever, GCSEs, it starts from GCSEs, you start thinking about, oh, I've got to revise for the test, I've got to revise for this, make sure that I get this because then universities are going to look at my GCSEs, then it's A-levels, like, oh, now they're really going to look at my scores, make sure that I'm doing this, and I was literally always panicking that I never really got like a chance to just breathe or to like enjoy. Even if I was like out with my friends, I would feel guilty that I'm not working. So I think my advice on that one, or just what I wish I'd known before, is just that it is okay. You can really honestly enjoy your life now. GCSEs, it's not the end of your life. A-levels is not even the end of your life. It's actually it's just a means to an end, and it's a real shame if you neglect friendships. It's a real shame if you neglect mental health. It's a real shame if you neglect just your own like physical health as well. Like I'd eat trash just because it's like it's the convenient thing to do when I had to eat something. So yeah, just make sure, like, definitely I wish I'd known that there's no need to panic over education. It's not worth it, not in the long run. Also, I wish I'd known that, oh yeah, I definitely thought in sixth form that because I'm going into this course, and it's kind of relatively niche, that everybody in the course is going to love it, like we're going to have great conversations about it because we're all going to be really passionate about what we're doing, and it's not like that. Because obviously there's some people that are in the course because they didn't get the course they wanted. Some of them wanted to be in a different city. Some people just wanted something that looks good on their CV. Some people are just in uni because they need to be in uni. They have to do a course. That's it. So there's definitely like disparity between motivations to be in the course. Not everyone is on the same page, and it's fine. But it's and that goes along the lines of you don't need to know like exactly what you want to do right now, and the course doesn't dictate your future career at all. Like you were saying earlier, there are people age 40 that do not know what necessarily they want to do, and it's just something that's in the system. You have to choose, but it's not the final decision. It's not life or death. It's fine, so don't panic. Yeah, I think that would have been helpful to know. So yeah, making connections is more, or just making good friendships and making a support network is more important than choosing the right degree. You'd be surprised that I'm even on this video because of just someone, like making friends with someone, as opposed to me being in the course and just really excelling, and then they were like, oh yeah, this girl, I'm going to tell her to do this video. It wasn't like that. So yeah, I wish I'd known that it's really not so much about the degree as people make it seem.
Okay. So you born here, lived in Nigeria for a bit, and then when did you come back?
I came back, so let's say I lived in Nigeria for 3 or 4 years, then came back then moved to London-ish, or around London. Then kind of had a little time out in Paris. I was in Paris for 2 years, then came back here to uni. Okay.
So how did you find, I guess, going from, so you've lived in, including the UK, 3 countries now.
Yeah.
So how did you find, I guess, your transition going into like Nigeria, then coming back, and then going to Paris, and then coming back?
When I when I was young, going from Birmingham to Nigeria, I really didn't want to go. I think I had the media perception that like Nigeria is out there. There's like guns and like everybody's just like going to run over you. So I really didn't want to go, but I didn't have a choice basically. And then got there and had like, well, this is like. So I have a complicated like geographical history. I was in Abuja at I was there for a term, then I went back, but then I came to Lagos. So this is me coming to Lagos. I had like a really great time. It was actually like there was a lot more familial connection. I felt like at home, like, and it was weird because I didn't want to leave Birmingham to go there, and then I suddenly was like integrated. It was just. It was a great experience, and it was like one of the reasons now that I'm just very, very passionate about Nigeria. So that was a good transition. Obviously, there was like a little bumps along the way in school, and like obviously like when you're younger, it's like everyone, like a girl goes out with this guy that you like, and it's like, oh my gosh, like my life is over. But it was like generally it was like a great experience. Then I came back. And because I'd been in Nigeria and kind of like seen like, oh, like the UK lied to me about my country, this, I kind of felt like, I don't know, I just felt more out of place. I definitely realized like a bit more, like, let's say when I was younger, I did not really realize that I was Nigerian, that I was black or anything like that. I came back and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm black, like I'm different kind of thing. But I also moved from like different classes, let's say. So let's say I went from middle class to like a more elite. And that's when you start realizing that your color a bit more, I think. So that was the weirdest transition. I didn't really enjoy myself as much in the UK than I did when I was in Birmingham. I think I was still kind of like, I was going through a bit more of an identity struggle at this point. But going from that, I knew I wanted to learn French. I've always been very passionate about French for some weird reason. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go to sixth form in France. And that was surprisingly also very familial. Like, it was like a tight-knit family. Even if like everyone's fighting, you know, it's because like everyone's very close. So it was also like a honestly beautiful experience. Like I'm very happy I went, and then I came back. So it was a good transition. Then I came back here. I don't know. It was a bit anticlimactic, I guess, because I thought because I had that tight-knit family in France. I would come to uni where the course, I think everyone's going to be super passionate about the same things. So everyone's going to be a family again, and it's not like that. But I think in terms now, like I'm much more confident about where I am than I was in my first year. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So coming back and you're talking about the whole family aspect of it, how did you, I guess, deal with that when your expectations were kind of, for lack of a better word, crushed?
Yeah. I think I've always kind of been the person that made friends very like randomly. I was never really very intentional about making friends. Someone might run into me, or like in Paris, I was like in a house with people who were other students as well, so we're all kind of pushed together anyway. It was only very recently I realized when I was talking with my mom that I've never actually chosen my friends. I've never said, like, looked at someone and said, oh, they've said something very interesting, and been like, you know what, I'm going to go speak to that person. And I think that was the thing that was the change between secondary school and uni. In uni, it's much more like you might have a family because you're in secondary school, you have a relatively small school. You guys have been with each other since year 7 going onwards. In uni, it can be much more different. And that's when you start becoming much more intentional about, okay, I want this person to be my friend. I want this person to be around me. This is the kind of I like dance, I'm going to go join dance society. I like writing, I'm going to go writing society. They have, you might be Malaysian, you might have like Malaysian connections or roots or something like that. There's like UCL Malaysian Society, KCL Malaysian Society. So there's just getting involved with things and being intentional about the things that you're interested in, or the people, the environment you want to be surrounded by, is the change, I guess. You have to be much more intentional about it.
In the beginning, you were mentioning that you're doing more now to address your weaknesses. Was that conversation with your mom that made you now start reflecting about stuff like that?
Yeah. So it was basically like me realizing that it was a part where I felt quite lonely. And in London, one of the like loneliest places to be is surrounded by people. You have like so many people around you, and you feel as if you can't really speak to anyone, or that no one really, if you were sick, if you were like stressed, no one's really gonna look for you either. And I've never really been in the place where it's like I don't have a friend. So I think that was, and I didn't really think it was me. Maybe I should have thought it was me, but like I would guess it was that conversation that made me realize that, you know what, actually it's because I don't realize that I should make an effort to make a friend. And that's when I started getting a bit more like proactive about talking to people, trying to be like put myself out there. It was very hard, and I'm still working on it. I'm definitely not there yet, but or we'll always be working on it. But yeah, it was definitely.
Okay. So, so I guess reflecting on your life, your struggles, and all those kind of good stuff, and I guess some bad stuff. Is there any advice that you would like to give people?
I think definitely so I'm at home, so I go from home to uni. Particularly if you're not at home, you go to, like, if you stay in accommodation, it's another a great place to feel lonely. It's important that you at least have a support network, even if you're not making friends like right away, that you make a support network. So because we can come from secondary school, we're like, okay, uni's time to be independent. Don't be too independent. It's time to go register at the GP. It's time to make sure that if you have this problem, or you notice that you have a certain fear of, you go speak to someone. Like there is services around. Don't let it be like when you hear about coronavirus that you decide to go register at the GP, you know? Just make sure that you have the basics things, like, you know who you can talk to in a real crisis as you're building up. That's the more important thing, that you don't ever feel as if you're completely isolated, because that's where things can go very, very wrong. Yeah, that would be my main piece of advice.
Last question would be, do you think that a scheme like this is important? If so, if not, why?
Oh, definitely. I wish I had it when I was going from secondary school to uni. It's important for, I think, us as well, because it's important for us to see what we can do better, what uni has offered us, what uni is offering us that we're not taking up on, and also just in hindsight to be able to say that everything that I was stressing over before didn't kill me, and don't go and let it kill you either, is very important. So you don't have to make the same mistakes we are making. You can skip a couple of the challenges that are just kind of in your head as opposed to real, you know. It is very important, so thanks.
Thank you. All right. Cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.